Kato was a young man with big dreams. He lived in a small house near the busy port of Makoma with his mother, Mama Halima, who had raised him alone after his father died. Every morning, she woke up before sunrise to bake cassava bread, selling it from a small stall by the road. Life was hard, and every coin mattered. Kato often sat beside her, talking about how one day he would change their life, how he would build a bigger home, and make her proud. But each time he spoke about his dreams, Mama Halima shook her head and laughed sadly. She told him dreams were for people who could afford to fail. She wanted him to be practical, to take any small job he could find. Kato's words about success and independence made her uneasy. She had struggled all her life, and she believed survival came from hard labor, not big ideas. One evening, when Kato told her that he wanted to start something of his own, she looked him in the eyes and said, "You'll never be independent. You think too much and do too little." Those words hit him like a stone. He didn't argue. He just turned away, but inside something started burning. Her doubt cut deep, but instead of breaking him, it filled him with quiet determination. That night, while his mother slept, Kato sat outside under the streetlight, listening to the waves crashing in the distance. He thought about every moment she had called him a dreamer. He thought about all the people who believed he wouldn't go far. His heart ached, but he made himself a silent promise. He would prove her wrong, not with anger, but with action. The next morning, he helped her set up the stall as usual, but this time his eyes were different, calm, focused, ready. Mama Halima didn't notice the change. She kept talking about bills, the landlord, and how nothing ever got easier. But Kato wasn't listening anymore. In his mind, he could already see a future beyond Makoma. A future where his mother would never have to worry about rent again. That fire inside him had begun to grow, and though no one could see it, it was the start of a journey that would change both of their lives forever. Kato helps a Ghanaian trader, Kwame Adu, at the port one hot afternoon when the sun was burning bright over Makoma. Kwame was struggling to move heavy wooden boxes filled with handmade baskets. Without thinking twice, Kato ran forward and lifted one. His clothes were old, and his hands were rough from helping his mother at her stall, but his smile was warm. Kwame looked at him with surprise and asked, "Why are you helping me?" Kato simply said, "Because I can." That answer stayed in Kwame's mind. After finishing the work, he offered Kato a small payment, but the young man refused and said, "I didn't do it for money." That honesty touched the trader's heart. The next day, Kwame came looking for Kato. He told him he ran a small trading business that sent local crafts to other countries. He needed someone loyal to help him at the dock, someone who could read, write, and handle goods carefully. Kato's heart leaped with excitement. It was the kind of chance he had dreamed of, a door finally opening. When he told Mama Halima about it, she frowned. She didn't trust strangers, and she didn't like the idea of her son chasing another big dream. She said, "People promise a lot, but they disappear when trouble comes. Stay here, Kato. Help me at the stall." But something had already changed in him. He looked at his mother with love and respect but also with quiet strength. "Mama," he said softly, "I can't stay where I am and still hope for more." She didn't answer, just turned away with worry in her eyes. The next morning, Kato packed a small bag and went to meet Kwame at the port. He didn't have much, only a few clothes and the faith that life could be better. As the boat left the shore, Kato watched the city getting smaller behind him. His mother's words still echoed in his mind, but now they didn't hurt. They pushed him forward. The salty wind touched his face, and for the first time, he felt free, scared, yes, but free. That moment marked the beginning of his new journey, one that would test his courage and prove that even the poorest boy could rise if he dared to believe in himself. Working for Kwame, Kato learns about trade, logistics, and fair pricing. Every morning, he wakes up before the sun rises, helping to load baskets, count boxes, and check shipments. At first, the work feels endless. He makes mistakes, sometimes mixes up records, and even gets scolded, but he doesn't give up. Kwame notices his effort and begins to teach him the real side of business: how to negotiate prices, how to calculate profits, and how to talk to sellers with respect. Slowly, Kato starts understanding that trading isn't just about buying and selling, it's about trust and fairness. One day, while traveling with Kwame to a nearby village, Kato sees a group of women weaving baskets under a tree. They sell their hard work for very little money to middlemen who later sell those same baskets for 10 times more. Watching this breaks his heart. He asks Kwame, "Why can't we buy from them directly? They deserve better." Kwame thinks for a moment, then smiles and says, "Show me how you would do it." Kato spends the next few weeks visiting the artisans, listening to their struggles, and learning how they make their crafts. He builds relationships with them and convinces Kwame to start buying straight from the source. The plan works perfectly. The women earn more, the products are better, and customers love knowing their purchases help real families. Kato feels proud for the first time in his life. He saves every coin he earns, sleeping on the floor of the warehouse just to avoid spending money. His letters home to Mama Halima are short and hopeful, but she never writes back. Still, he keeps going. His honesty and hard work make Kwame trust him deeply. Soon, Kwame calls him into the office and says, "Kato, I'm opening a new branch in Tanzania. I want you to manage it." Kato is shocked. No one has ever trusted him with something so big. That night, he sits alone by the sea, staring at the dark waves and whispering, "Maybe this is the chance I've been waiting for." He knows it won't be easy, but his heart is ready. The boy who once had nothing is finally being given the chance to become someone his mother would never again call a dreamer. Kato names his new business Mbeel Exports Forward. The name reminds him to keep moving ahead, no matter what stands in his way. He begins in a small rented room in Tanzania with only a few baskets, a broken desk, and a notebook full of ideas. The start is tough. Some days, shipments are delayed, customers complain, and partners quit when money runs short. Kato often eats plain rice for dinner, using the last of his savings to keep the business alive. But he refuses to give up. Every morning, he looks at the word Mbeel painted on the wall and whispers to himself, "Keep going." Slowly, things begin to change. He meets a group of young artisans who make handmade crafts using recycled materials. Their creativity inspires him. He decides to work with them, offering fair prices and promising to market their work to buyers overseas. The artisans agree, and soon colorful baskets, mats, and carvings from small African villages start reaching big stores abroad. Customers love the products, not only for their beauty, but for the stories behind them. For Kato, every sale feels like a victory, proof that dreams can feed families. Still, the road isn't easy. Heavy rains destroy one shipment, and once, a dishonest partner runs away with his money. For 2 days, Kato sits in silence, thinking of everything he's lost. But then he remembers his mother's face and the promise he made to himself years ago. He stands again, determined to rebuild. He learns from every mistake and works smarter. With time, Mbeel Exports becomes known for honesty and quality. The name spreads across East Africa, from Dar es Salaam to Nairobi and Kampala. Kato begins hiring young people who, like him, came from nothing. He trains them to be bold, kind, and fair. His warehouse grows larger, his orders multiply, and people start calling him the man who changed the trade. But even with success, he stays humble. Late at night, when the workers leave, Kato walks through the quiet warehouse, running his hands over the packed boxes, whispering a thank you to life. He knows he hasn't reached the end yet. He's only moving forward, just as his company's name reminds him every single day. After 5 years, Kato returns to Makoma, the city where all his dreams began. The salty air, the smell of roasted corn by the road, and the sound of the harbor waves bring back memories of his childhood. He walks through the same narrow streets he once called home, but everything feels smaller now. He stops near the market where his mother's stall still stands. There she is, Mama Halima, older, thinner, but still strong. Her hands move quickly as she sells cassava bread to her regular customers. She doesn't notice him at first. Kato stands quietly, watching her with teary eyes, remembering how she once told him he would never make it. When she finally looks up and sees him, her mouth opens in shock. For a moment, she just stares, unsure if it's really her son. Then she drops the basket from her hands and runs to him. "Kato, my boy," she cries, her voice trembling. He hugs her tightly, holding back his tears. He smells the flour on her clothes, the same scent that carried him through his hardest days. "I told you I'd come back, Mama," he whispers softly. "But I wanted to come back when I could stand on my own." That evening, Kato takes her to a quiet street outside the city. He stops in front of a simple but beautiful house with white walls and a red roof. The house glows in the setting sun. Mama Halima looks confused. "Why are we here?" she asks. Kato hands her a brown envelope. She opens it slowly, her hands shaking. Inside is a deed with her name written on it. "It's yours," he says gently. "No rent, no landlord. This is your home now." She can't speak. Tears roll down her cheeks as she touches the walls like she's afraid it might disappear. "Kato, how did you?" He smiles and answers. "You said I'd never be independent. But those words made me stronger." She pulls him close and cries on his shoulder. That night, as they sit together under the soft light of their new home, she finally sees not just her son, but the man he became. The man who turned doubt into a gift that changed both of their lives forever. Mama Halima visits her new home and weeps with pride. She walks slowly through each room, touching the walls with her hands, still not believing it is real. The house smells of fresh paint and hope. Sunlight fills the rooms, and soft curtains move with the breeze. She remembers all the years she spent worrying about rent, fearing the landlord's knock, and praying her son would not waste his life on dreams. Now those fears are gone. Her eyes fill with tears as she whispers, "My son did this. My Kato did this." Kato stands beside her, smiling quietly. He watches her explore every corner. The kitchen, the small garden, the porch where she can sit and watch sunsets. She turns to him and says, "I was wrong, my child. I didn't believe in you. I thought dreams were foolish. But you showed me what faith looks like." Her voice breaks as she speaks, and Kato gently holds her hands. He replies softly, "Mama, your doubt didn't destroy me. It made me strong. Every time you said I couldn't do it, I wanted to prove that I could." His words make her cry again, but this time her tears are full of joy, not regret. In the following weeks, she starts inviting her neighbors and old friends to see her new home. They listen to her stories about Kato, and she tells them proudly, "Never laugh at your children's dreams. You never know which one might build your house one day." The women at the market begin to look at her differently, not as the struggling widow she once was, but as the mother of a successful man who came from nothing. Every morning, Mama Halima now wakes up early, not to sell bread but to water the flowers outside her home. She smiles at the sunrise and whispers prayers of thanks. When young boys pass by, she tells them, "Dream big and work hard." When mothers worry, she says, "Let them try." Her pride in Kato becomes a lesson for everyone in Makoma. She finally understands that sometimes love protects too much, and in doing so, it holds back wings that are meant to fly. Now, as she watches her son build a life that helps others, she feels peace in her heart, the kind she had never known before. Kato becomes a mentor for young African entrepreneurs, helping them find the courage to follow their dreams just like he once did. His company, Mbeel Exports, has grown beyond his imagination, and people from different countries invite him to speak about his journey. Whenever he stands on a stage, he looks around at the eager faces and remembers the days when he had nothing but hope. He begins each talk with the same line, "My mother once told me I would never be independent, and those words changed my life." The audience always listens in silence. He tells them how her doubt pushed him to work harder, how every failure became a lesson, and how success means nothing unless it helps others rise too. Kato starts a training program for young people who have small ideas but big hearts. He teaches them how to trade fairly, how to believe in their abilities, and how to build with honesty. Many of them come from poor backgrounds, just like he did. He sits with them, listens to their stories, and tells them, "If I can do it, so can you." His humility wins everyone's respect. Soon, people begin calling him Brother Kato, the man who lifts others up. He doesn't care about titles or awards. He only wants to see others succeed. Mama Halima often joins him at events, sitting proudly in the front row. Whenever reporters ask her how she feels, she laughs and says, "I told him he couldn't do it, and look at him now." Her honesty makes everyone smile. She has become a symbol of change herself, reminding parents to believe in their children's dreams. Together, Kato and his mother become an inspiration, not because they had an easy life, but because they turned pain into power. As the years pass, Kato continues to travel, teaching that independence is not about running away from home, but about standing tall and taking responsibility. He helps build schools, supports young artisans, and funds new businesses. Every time he looks at his mother, Sitting in her favorite chair, he feels grateful. Her words once felt like a wound, but now they are his greatest strength. Their story spreads far and wide, proving that sometimes the people who doubt us most are the very ones who give us the fire to change the world. And that's how a mother's doubt became the fire that built a legacy. Kato didn't fight his mother's words. He turned them into power. He showed the world that sometimes, the people who tell you that you can't, are the reason you finally do. Today, Kato's story travels from one heart to another, reminding everyone that independence isn't about walking away. It's about standing tall and taking responsibility. So if someone ever says you'll never make it, smile quietly, and let your success answer for you. Because one day, just like Kato, you might come back home. Not to prove them wrong, but to show them what love, patience, and hard work can truly build. If Kato's journey touched your heart, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story, because someone out there might need this reminder. No dream is too small, and no doubt is too strong to stop you.